All right, folks. This is Tony Logue. We're super excited to have you on the Texas to Tennessee podcast. Thanks for making time to hang out with us, and
Yeah, man.
want to get
Thanks for having
absolutely
me. Yeah.
our pleasure. I guess so. I listen to a decent amount of music, and I like to think I'm pretty in tune with the independent artists, but it gets harder and harder to kind of keep up with everybody. And I just Soul turned me on to your music a week and a half ago, and I've been
Oh,
listening, so trying to
yeah.
get more familiar with it, but really enjoy it. But for maybe the crowd who isn't as familiar, do you mind giving us like your, I don't know, 90-second commercial? Kind of tell us your backstory, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just West Kentucky guy. Yeah. So just I don't know. I've been writing songs for a long time. Since I don't know 20 years or so, and yeah, just made a few records over the years. It's kind of evolved into what it is now. I got it's pretty much got a rock band now. I'm a country guy. I write country ish songs, but I got a rock and roll band. So yeah, that's just a songwriter, man. If somebody wants to know like what do you do? What a songwriter is that's my that's my thing, man. So
Nice.
spent a lot of time working on that over the years.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't look like. I mean, did you come out playing out of the womb? I mean, you've been playing for 20 years. Like, I don't know how old you are. I don't. You don't need to tell me,
Oh,
but
oh yeah.
you've been
Little
playing for a while.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been at it for a good minute now, and just been fortunate to uh, just got a good team around me. Got a good group of guys, and I've had a lot of my band that I've had since like 2008.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Okay.
so yeah, it's not been overnight for me. It's took a while to get all the pieces to connect, but I'm in a good spot right now. I feel like anyway. Yeah.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you, Mr. Willis. How you doing?
How y'all
So
doing?
Welcome in. Well, you mentioned a little bit about your team. Can you tell us about a little bit about your band and who you're doing it with, and any
yeah, man.
uh, support that you have?
Yeah, would love to. As I mentioned, but just a second ago, my band. Uh, boy plays drums for me. Jason Monday has been with me since 2008. He's a Lexington, Kentucky guy. He's living in Nashville right now. He's been down there for a few years. Kyle Robertson plays bass guitar in my band. He's a Callaway County, Kentucky guy. He's been with me since 2007, 2008. Just we've grown up together. All of us have really. Boy named James Lindsay's from Griggstown, Kentucky, plays guitar in my band, and I have a boy who plays B3 organ. He's from Puerto Rico. Julio Matos is his name. He's a Nashville resident at the time, presently, but yeah. So that's the band, and about I don't know, about a year ago we signed on with Mountain View Talent out of South Carolina, and just been a big shot in the arm for us, and for booking and management stuff, and just been really good. So it's a good team of folks. Yeah.
Awesome. And then how? I don't know. Just maybe like a rough guess. How many dates a year are you typically playing, or if you break it down in a week or month or
Yeah,
whatever? I don't
man.
know what your schedule's like, but
Yeah, we're hustling. Like right now, we're doing a fall uh, tour. That's I think it's 20, 24 cities and 17 states.
oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, we've been out the last 2 weeks with Cole Chaney. Did a run of shows with him. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cole or not. He's a killer.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, we've been out for just got home day before yesterday. So I don't know. It was 8, 9 cities. Uh, several states: Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri. I mean, we've been Ohio. We've been hustling, man. So yeah, we stay on the move for sure.
And are these new markets for you, or these places you've been playing before? Or
It's a little bit of both. The last 2 weeks, yeah, we were up in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and up in Detroit. That's all new territory for me. Missouri, Nebraska, I've been out there. So yeah, it's a mixture of both. Just trying to get where we can get. If they'll have us, we'll come. So that's where
great,
we're at.
sounds good. So you got you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. So Tony, whenever you kind of came on my radar, you were doing a lot more shows, either acoustic or not
Yeah,
near as full band as, as you are now.
right.
You said you just got on with with a different booking agency and all that stuff. Is that when you picked up the band, or was it revolved around the last album?
No. Like I say, I've had the band for years, and
Okay.
just kind of take the shows as they come. But
Okay.
but
I
to
got
answer
you.
your question, yes, I mean the band shows have picked up, since we've signed on with those folks, and do a lot more of that, and maybe a little less solo songwriter stuff. But yeah, just always over the years, just kind of taking it how I could get it. If there some
Understood.
venues didn't have room for a band or didn't have a budget for a band, I would go anyway.
Yeah.
Just trying to get out there. Just trying to spread the word.
I guess I guess the reason why that question came to mind is because like your latest album is I know you were saying earlier you write country songs but you have a rock band,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's even come more across in the later albums,
It seems that way. Yeah,
yeah.
we've always. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we've always been a rock and roll band uh, as a live set. Even back 2010, 11,
Got you.
12, whatever.
But you
We
got
were
that.
we were a pretty rocking band,
Yeah.
uh, back then playing a lot of cover songs and things like that. It would be like the Steve Earle, the harder, the more rock and roll type stuff, and Nirvana songs, and so yeah, some of that hasn't always come through on my records.
Got you.
Maybe it has a little bit, but it seems to uh, the records I've made, yeah, especially the Crumbs. The last record was pretty rock and roll, So just kind of let the guys stretch their legs a little bit, And,
Is that the best actually of capturing what you guys do on stage so far in your
I
recording?
I think so. Yeah, we've actually got a record that's done right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finished back late July, I think it was last week of July. We finished it up, and it's uh it's a rock and roller too. But to me, it's the best thing that we've done yet that captures who we are, and like I'm still there. The songs that if you've listened to what I do, the songs, type of songs that I write, the story type songs, and that's not gone. It's there, but it's just some more upbeat, grooving stuff. That I'm pretty proud of it. So we'll see.
I've heard you. I've done a little bit of listening to other podcasts and whatnot, trying to get some homework, and so the word I heard quite a bit was shit kicking. So
Shit kickers,
it's more
man.
shit kicking now than it was. the,
It's more shit kicking. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I've
I
really
mean,
always been, and like if you saw, like we mentioned earlier, you saw me down in Tennessee, just an acoustic guitar. Some of that stuff doesn't really come through, but yeah, just shit kicker songs and a rock and roll band.
no, it's
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean, just judging by your socials and everything that that's come across live, you can tell that's what you guys are, what you're shooting for.
Yeah, it's just a upbeat.
Energy.
Yeah, just a high energy thing. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, but I don't want my songs to get lost in that. So it's there's a fine line there to me, as far as uh,
Okay.
trying to trying to balance that out. I still want to be the songwriter that I am and write the songs that I write and the descriptive lyrics and things like that. I still want all that, but I don't want to sacrifice that for a rock and roll song. And so far, I haven't had to. It's just it's evolved naturally, I guess you could say.
I know, judging by or listening to some of those other pods, you're a huge Chris Knight guy for many
Yeah, man.
reasons. I'm sure, Kentucky
Yeah,
songwriting,
yeah.
everything. But the one that, as far as listening to your music and then kind of thinking about his, River Road was the one that like
Ah,
came to mind as far as the shit kicking, but it
yeah,
still got the story,
yeah.
but it's got the driving song, the driving beats.
100%. That whole record, the whole Enough Rope record, it's to me, um, it's I don't know. It's always I've said this before. It's always been like a true north record for me. Like when I was trying to uh, figure out that, like, what kind of records do you want to make? Well, that was one that I would always go back to. Just because of what you said. The lyrical content was there, and he had a rock band. I think he had Dan Baird from the Georgia Satellites was on. I don't know if he was on that record. I know some of them. I think he might even help produce. But uh, yeah, just rockers. Up from the Hills uh, on that record, and a song called "To Get Back Home" is probably one of my favorite, it, if not my favorite Chris Knight
And then
song. Just a rock and roller, man. But I mean, he's got something to say, and it's uh, just a gut punch.
I'm a sucker
Huge
for
fan
all,
of that.
yeah, I'm a sucker for all of it, and then
Yeah,
to have the guts to end on enough rope is,
yeah, yeah,
instead of going out with a fast song, he goes out with the
yeah,
tough one,
man. We were
which is,
just we were just with Chris
anyways.
Knight. We were with Chris Knight. I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and been with him before, but
Mhm.
I'd never been with him when he had Austin Cunningham on guitar, and they co-wrote a bunch of those songs. Enough Rope being one of them. But so yeah, got a second just to be around Austin and meet him, and just a great guy, and obviously an incredible songwriter.
Is he the one that plays lead with him and does harmonica too?
No, I think that's
No.
a guy named Chris Clark.
Okay. Yeah. You're
Now
right.
Austin may do harmonica as well.
Okay.
Um,
No, you're right. It
he
is
that
Chris. That's right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll ask this, and then Matt, if you got one. Matt's in Dyersburg too, by the way.
Okay,
He's. I don't remember if he was at that show or not. I don't remember.
yeah,
I was.
Yep.
I was.
Okay.
okay.
No, goodness. On your this album and some other ones, I know that uh, you've had some pretty big name folks recording with you and playing on those albums and stuff.
Yeah,
Can you kind of let folks know, who's on there, who they're
yeah,
listening to?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, that all came about uh, through a guy named Sean Sullivan. Sean has his fingerprints are all over some of my favorite records for the last 10 years. Of the Tyler Childers records, Purgatories, the Sturgill Simpson records, just everything. Sean worked uh, out of the butcher shop back in the day, which I think that closed up after the death of John Prine. John Prine owned the butcher shop with a guy named Dave Ferguson. So Sean had worked with Ferg, they call him, for years, and anyway, just long story short, I landed with Sean back in 2022 to make the Jericho record, and just a lot of magical things came from that. Had Miles Miller come in, which Miles played drums for Sturgill for years, still does now. I think they're fixing to tour. I think Miles is going to play. So Miles came in. Tammy Rogers came in, sang on that record, played all the fiddle. She played all the fiddle on all the Chris Knight records, which was one of my highlights. And I'm a huge Steel Drivers fan too, and was back in the day, back before I even really knew who Tammy was. But so yeah, Tammy came in and sang and played fiddle, and just a sweetheart of a woman. She's been on every one of my records since. So yeah, a lot of that kind of came about through Sean Sullivan and his help, and just I'm trying to think who else has been. I played with Will Kimbrough's been on. He was on the Crumbs record. Will's is if you do what I do, he's a big a hot shot as there is in the game. Just played with Emmylou Harris and Rodney Crowell. I saw Will Kimbrough with Cross Canadian Ragweed and Rodney Crowell like 2006 or 7 probably at a place called City Hall in Nashville. And I didn't know much about Rodney Crowell at that time. And he was in between like a Wade Bowen set and a Ragweed set or something. And so, but I mean, just blew my mind, and he had Will with him that night. And just full circle on a lot of things, to come back and him to play on my records and dig what I do. And yeah, just a crazy thing for me, man. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Matthew, you got something?
I don't know what all I missed. Did y'all go back to the beginning of anything, or has it just been of late? And like, what y'all been? One of the things I was wanting to ask, just to see where his inspiration was as a young man. Was you around music when you were young? Was you part of a musical family? What's some of the records that kind of inspired you to go towards music? And I mean, we know that you're a rocker for sure, man, which I can dig at 100%. So just trying to get a feel out for, where you drew your inspiration and what do you remember about music first growing up?
Yeah, for sure. As far as a music family, not really. My granddad played guitar and sang some and played some like claw hammer style banjo just a little bit. But so yeah, I can remember that vaguely. But both of my parents were just huge into music, and there was always music in the always going to shows, and they would go see Hank Williams Jr. They would go see Alice Cooper, or they would go see Leonard Skinner. Just a wide gamut of stuff. So yeah, there's
Sounds
always
like my
music.
parents. For sure.
Yeah. Just it's a cool way to be. I'm the same way. I just love music. I can usually find something I love about most anything. So yeah, just a ton of music. Always records in the house. I've ended up with most of their records. I mean, it's anything from Led Zeppelin to John Prine or whatever. But so it was always there. But some records that really really influenced me. I would say one would be Steve Earle's Guitar Town. Hit me like a ton of bricks.
I can definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Just a monster record for me. And another,
Absolutely.
probably one of my number one records is Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska. Just his acoustic record, and I've studied that thing like scripture. Just trying to figure out how to write that story type song. So yeah, just influenced by a million and one things about like anybody else, but Steve Earle's a big one. Springsteen's a big one. Uh,
Gotcha.
Even
yeah,
as a
John Prine.
even as a young guy, you were gravitating towards that, like Nebraska.
Nah, well, probably not.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I didn't find. Yeah, right. I didn't find Nebraska until probably, I don't know. It's
No,
probably been 10 years ago now before I really.
no, I understand.
I knew Bruce Springsteen, and I knew
Born in the
Born in the
USA.
USA and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Right? Yeah, the stuff that but I didn't really know the songwriter, which that stuff was songwriter Bruce Springsteen too. But Nebraska's next level stuff. But so no,
Understood.
probably not. Uh,
No, I
but
get that. And in the South,
as a
it's not as
yeah,
it's not as in the South. Bruce is not as quite as popular. You got to kind of dig a little bit
un,
more.
understand. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, I was also a '90s kid coming up, so Nirvana was huge for me. The Pearl Jams of the world, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And still am still a huge fan of all of that stuff. We just went. We were in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. No, it was actually last week, and went by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and was just blew my mind. But anyway, they had everything in there, but stuff that really just hit me was like the Kurt Cobain guitars and his stuff, and um, just yeah, hit me pretty hard. So they let us play a couple songs in there, so that was a trip.
How did that come about? I saw the video. If anybody actually watches this or listens to this, go
Yeah,
check out this video. But how did this come about?
yeah, we were just there on the road. We were just on the road, passing through Cleveland, and actually, my management company, Mountain View Talent, set that up. Said, "Hey, let's just go by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to kill the morning." And so we were in there, and on the second floor of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's a room there called the Garage, where they have just different uh, stars. I mean, I would say acts. It's more like stars come through and just sing a song or two, while they're there, or there's folks that can just, pick up a guitar and play a song or whatever. But long story short, yeah, Chris Edwards had set all that up, and we had all got scattered throughout the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He just sent a text and said, "Hey, y'all want to play a few songs?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, we would love to do that." So yeah, just a magic day, man. Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Tabo?
Tony, first off, shout out to Soul Gravy for requiring everybody to be a Chris Knight fan before they can come on the podcast, which is pretty awesome.
Oh man, I like your style.
This is the second one today, so shout out.
Yeah,
Way to
it's
go.
usually Adam Hood. It's usually the
Right.
me and Dan Adams decided that we were going to come up with a segment called the 6 Degrees of Adam Hood instead of Kevin Bacon. So
I think it's like 3 degrees
whichever.
with Adam.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, for sure. Well, here's an easy one, Tony. If you go hop in the car or truck, what's on your playlist? What are you listening to right now?
Shoot. Man, probably Joe Rogan. I listen to
You like the podcast?
I listen to way more podcasts. Just we're on the road a ton, and
Understood.
yeah, listen to a ton of podcasts. But music, man, like I say, we like to listen to anything. I mean, it's we're just fans of music. It may be Jason Isbell, or it could be Led Zeppelin, or it could be who know Biggie Smalls. I know, we listen to anything, man. We're just
Right.
just fan. I'm just a fan of music. I just love it.
Well,
Yeah.
I know you mentioned about writing being a center of kind of what you do. Are
Yeah.
you one of the folks that can't listen to music when you're writing, like other music?
Yeah, not really. No, I've seen that, and and read some of that. There's a guy named Jimmy Webb, one of the greatest songwriters ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy wrote a book called Toonsmith. Just explaining how he writes songs and just tips for anyone aspiring to do so. But that was in there. Like, hey, we can't play music while. No, I've never really done that, and
Yeah,
but I have had some of my songs, be like, wait a minute, does that sound like so and
that's
so? Yeah,
already a song.
yeah, right. That's why it's so good, because it's already a song.
Yeah, right.
It
Well,
happens. Yeah.
maybe to expand a little bit on the songwriting, anything unique about your process in terms of how you go about coming up with your art?
Well, probably not unique. I mean, it's not something that comes easy for me. It's never really. Um, I don't guess you could say I was born with a gift or anything like that. I've had to work really hard at it, and work just try to stay busy, try to stay, just to keep the muscle, working. Just I say I write songs every day, but I try to write something. It may just be a line or two, or work on something just to keep the muscle sharp, and uh, read a lot of books. To me, that was, I don't know. I started reading a lot of books about 7 or 8 years ago, and that was a huge turning point for me. Just because I heard, that that's what a lot of the greats would do, So, uh, if you're writing words, I think there's gotta be some intake, before you can have any output. You got to take something in. And in my case, anyway, I'm not saying that for everybody, but so yeah, just read a lot and write a lot. And I don't write for long periods of time. Usually, I don't have a huge attention span, I guess, or it's so hard that. Uh, Songwriting is hard, so
I agree.
yeah, I can't imagine trying to do that. Just sit down and write for like 3 or 4 hours. I don't normally do that.
It drives
It's
me
more,
crazy for sure.
yeah, it's more like a just shorter stints. I might write 30, 45 minutes or an hour. And when it's not working anymore, you just leave it. And then come back. And sometimes when you come back, it's just like, oh, it's right there where I was stuck or whatever. Kind of how it is for me. So just kind of writing bits and pieces maybe, and songs kind of take a second. I don't write songs real fast a lot of times.
Are you a melody guy? Do you got to come up with a concept like maybe a title, or do you try to write the hook first, or how do
Yeah,
you kind of generally go about your songwriting? If you don't mind me asking.
yeah, I'm more of probably a lyric guy. Uh,
More of a,
yeah, if you listen to my stuff, you probably know that.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
what I see. I'm just kind of curious on
yeah,
if that's generally how it works, or if that's just if that's something that's naturally, or you know.
yeah. It's usually for me, it's a lyric or a certain story that I'm gonna, try to tell, or something like that, and just start trying to get something down, get a few lines down, and then uh, yeah, a lot of songs I'll start out don't even have a guitar. I may be somewhere else, or a guitar's not even accessible. So
Right.
just have a few lines, or whatever, or a verse, and yeah, just start building. But I mean, they come however they come. I've had melody come first, whatever. But it's more lyrics for me.
I'm
I
guessing
got
the
you.
way your songs are, the way your songs are written, and I don't know. I just get the feeling you're not. Are you much into co-writing, or is it pretty personal?
Man, I never have been a huge co-writer, but
Right.
we just cut 12 songs back in July, and 3 of those were co-writes. Two of them we just wrote. They just kind of started happening at sound check, and then we would go to the next town, and we would, I mean, what was that? And we would just play it and play it and play it, and we wrote 2 songs as a band. That's never happened before, and it's a couple of my favorite songs. Worked out really, worked out really good. And then I wrote another song with the boy named Clint Park. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Clint.
Yes,
Mm,
sir.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
we all know
So
Clint.
yeah. So yeah. We'll see if all that makes the record. I'm assuming it's probably going to. So, but in the past, no, I haven't co-written a whole ton of songs. But
You think those songs came together at soundcheck because now you're spending so much time with those guys?
probably,
You know what I
probably,
mean?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, that could be. That was new to me. To have
Right.
like a bed of something to write to. Like a song was already there, and then just uh, trying to write the lyrics. One of those songs I probably wrote 20 different sets of lyrics to. Just because I didn't know. I was glad. Well, that's pretty good. And just try something else. I finally figured out what I think they need to be. But yeah, it turned out to be a couple of my favorite songs. So.
So
That's
how did you
cool. I've
like
been.
working with Clint?
Yeah.
Oh, Clint's my dude, man. We're on the same. We're on the same. We got the same management company. He's with Mountain View too. So
Okay.
uh, we run the roads some. We got some shows coming up, and
Well,
uh,
I'm working on
extreme.
him, trying to get him on here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He
got the
just
Yeah.
doesn't
invite.
reply much.
Yeah.
Tell him to check
I
his
can
messages. He's
I
got
can
it.
put you in touch with the guy who can make that happen. Uh, so yeah, Clint's great, man, and just
Yeah.
what a talent. I mean, just a super talented human being, and just
Yeah.
fun to be around. Yeah.
Yeah. He has family in the Dyersburg area, so he's
Oh, does he?
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
either
Well, his best friend,
yeah,
I
that's what I
think,
was
pretty
gonna
much.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just got he's been here quite a bit, so the circle got relatively small. We've there's
Yeah.
been wedding parties with with a Jaegerator and stuff with Clinton involved at one point in time. So
I agree.
yeah.
Don't try to drink with Clint, man, and stay
No,
with him.
no.
This
I'm good.
dude's
I'm
hardcore.
I'm good.
We
uh,
leave that to the pros.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not even a semi-pro anymore. So
Yeah.
Wow.
all
Yeah.
right,
Clint's great.
Talbo, you got something?
Yeah, well, I've got a few actually.
Okay.
So the the sound from serpents to saviors to crumbs
Mm,
is similar. Like obviously, I know it's you after I've gone through and listened to it, but
sure.
different producers on those albums. I'm going from first
Yeah.
to okay.
Yeah. Well, the Jericho and the Crumbs were both Sean Sullivan.
Okay.
The Serpents record was actually there's a studio in Nashville called House of David. Uh, a guy named David Briggs owns that studio. He played piano for Elvis uh, for years, and just a magical room. And so yeah, I just went in there with just me and a guitar. Sorry.
Somebody,
Yeah.
That's all right, man. We're all there.
So
Uh,
House of David.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Serpents was just. I just went in with just a guitar and a handful of songs that kind of told a story, and um, yeah, that was that's how that happened. So it
How
was
much?
a cool thing.
Yeah. How much time do you spend thinking about um, kind of what you've put out in the past and kind of what you want the sound to evolve to or change, or is that something that even crosses your mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the stuff is some of the older stuff. When I hear it now, I'm just like, yeah, gosh, man, that's terrible.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sure
Yeah, that's
everybody
normal.
probably
Yeah.
feels that way.
yeah.
But as far as like what's coming next, I really don't. I just I'll write 12, 14, 16 songs, and that's just that's what I got. That's what I have. So I don't have a plan of like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna try to write these rock and roll songs, or I'm gonna try to I really don't. I just write a batch of songs, and we'll get together in a room and I'll just start laying them out. Here's what I got, and just see what works, what doesn't, and um, yeah, I obviously try not to make the same record every time. That would be kind of boring, but
For sure.
just just let the songs be what they will, and whatever I wrote that year, that's probably what we're gonna cut, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, I know it's human nature to probably go back and go, man, I would have maybe I would have done this differently or done that differently. But some of us actually enjoy kind of hearing that progression of starting in a space and then
Yeah,
moving your sound around. Sometimes it takes a little while to find your true sound. So
yeah, for sure. I'm a big BJ Barham fan. And I've heard him say, if you're a carpenter, you can't go back and nobody's looking at the first set of cabinets that you built. But
right,
as a songwriter, your first set of cabinets are on iTunes for everybody to listen, or
right,
Spotify or whatever, for everybody to see, for the whole world to see that are just there. So you might as well get comfy with it, I guess, or pull them down. One of the two.
yeah, that makes sense. In terms of artists that maybe I don't know have been mentors, or do you have folks that you kind of look up to on maybe I'm sure musically, but also in terms of you know the music business is tough. So, learning how to navigate that. Do you have folks that you've kind of looked to for help?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess when you're running the road, uh, you meet a lot of folks, and yeah, just looking at what everybody's doing, what works, what doesn't. Um, Chris Knight's been not only a huge influence of mine, but he's every time I've been around him, taking a minute and just hey, how you doing this? Who's doing that? Why are you doing this? Or that's dumb, or this whole thing's dumb. The whole thing that you think you can actually pull this off is crazy. I mean,
Right.
so yeah, he's always been you know open and kind to me in that regard.
He
But yeah,
seems like
just
he'd shoot
all
you
the time.
straight too.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just all the time looking at what everybody's doing, and I say comparing, just if somebody's doing something that works, and just, hey, here's what we're doing, maybe try that, or uh, everybody's pretty helpful, man. Everybody's trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how to do it, and keep the
Yeah,
wheels on the ground. There's a lot to it.
for sure.
Yeah.
One, I'll ask this real quick, Matt, and then send it your way. When you, I know a lot of the folks that do the Texas scene and everything, and I know you're accepted into that as well. Um, they seem to be pretty open to anybody that's beating the pavement and that's working.
Yeah.
What about in that Kentucky, West Virginia scene and all that? I mean, is it pretty similar in that scene as well?
Uh, I would say I'm probably not really the best one to speak on that. Um,
Well,
I'm
I guess
just over
your
here doing
sound is different too, though.
it is different.
Hmm.
But there's been folks that have been really good to me. Um, yeah, I'm over here trying to do my thing, and um, but yeah, there's a nice group of folks in Kentucky, and most of them are more east. The west is um,
I understand.
it's not as many people from here. Doesn't seem like Kelsey Walden's here, Chris Knight, me. I mean, they're here, but East Kentucky, man, they're plentiful over
Okay.
there,
I
over
got you.
there. But yeah, everybody's been really good to me. So uh, and Texas, as you know, some of the Texas radio and stuff has helped me, and yeah. So
What about when you first started playing? Like when you first started playing your originals and decided this is what you were going to do for a living. Like, how did you even make that step? And was who were some folks that maybe helped you get going like that? I know it's nerve wracking.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. Man, my wife has been uh, instrumental in
That's a
all
good answer.
of that. Just you start out playing, 3 or 4 hour cover sets, and you slip a song that you've written in, and it flops, and then you finally get 1 or 2 that work, and then before you know it, you got 30, 45 minutes worth of stuff, and then I don't know. I just refuse to. Um, I refuse to give up on it. It wasn't easy at first. Like I say, you're trying to just slip a song in here and there that you've written, and watch everybody go sit back down, go smoke or whatever. While when you quit playing stuff that they know or whatever, and I just it was a hill I was willing to die on, and just I knew that I could write songs, and I knew the band was good, and we just kept hammering, man, just kept hammering and hammering at it, and
Yeah,
to where now if we got a 90-minute set, we're trying to figure out what songs we're not going to play. That's a
yeah,
good problem to have. But I mean, it's still challenging today. I mean, you don't win every night. So there's places where you're just like, they weren't into it, or they didn't show up, or well, it's still a challenge. But it's just like I said, I just refuse to quit on it. I know my
yeah.
stuff is good. I know I'm capable of doing this, and I feel like we got a killer set of music, and we just go do it, man.
Understood.
Really,
Nice.
Understood. You got
yeah.
to be stubborn about it, Matt. You got.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm kind of curious of some of your favorite venues that you've played, and like some of the venues that you want to play in the future that you would think would be awesome to be a staple of something that you did in your career.
Yeah, man, for sure. We just played Knuckleheads in Kansas City, man. That was great. Uh, just a just a great spot. There's tons of them. We've been in some really really great rooms where you just look around and just be like, wow, here we are. A ton I would like to play. The green halls and the Kane's ballrooms and the Rymans of the world. Yeah, just there's a ton that I hope to stand in and sing songs, but we've been really fortunate so far, and played some really really cool spots. It's hard to pick them out for uh, what my favorites would be, but
Yeah.
there's good ones. Yeah.
What about the opening spot for you? I know you do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Who are some? I know you talked about Chris Knight, but who are some of the other folks that you've been? I know you're probably a fan of, and then you get to go and open for them and get in front of their crowds.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've been out with Silverado a few times of late. Um,
They seem like
just
cool
one
guys.
of just absolute some of my favorite folks. Just uh, and probably one of the best bands going. You'd be hard pressed to find a tighter band than that.
Hmm.
They're really
Totally.
good. Yeah. So just folks like that. We've been fortunate on that front too. To get to uh, play in front of some folks that uh, you get to just sit around and watch the set after. Just that's a cool thing, man, for sure.
What about it, as far as being in front of their fans, and then you I don't know. I ask this question every time, but it's curious. I'm curious how everybody answers when you're playing for Silverado. and you're in their room, but then you can see from the stage that people are digging what you're doing. What's that like after a 10-hour drive and you know all
Yeah,
that,
man.
the bad parts?
Yeah, that's what keeps you going. Uh, you're exactly right. It's 22 and a half hours of the day that are shit. On the road for that. If it's an opening spot, you get 45 minutes. But yeah, I mean, like we'll leave riding high. When it stay up driving half the night. Just on cloud nine. It's a cool thing. I don't like on stage. I don't really like look at like who's digging or
I got
I
you.
don't know. I just kind of zone out. But I mean, after the set, you can tell. When everybody's at the merch booth or whatever, and um, yeah, I can tell that way. But yeah, that's a super cool thing to experience for sure.
Yeah, cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony. I know you mentioned recently that you had signed with a management company.
Hmm.
I know that can be a really difficult decision because it's not for free, obviously.
Yeah,
But I guess what was your thought process, and how much time have they taken off your plate, and how
yeah,
much extra have they added to what you're already doing?
yeah. Oh man, just lifesavers for us. For my wife and I, just trying to. Uh, I mean, it is a business. At the end of the day, it's just business. It's all business, and even though it's art, and it's very personal, it's business. So there's a lot of just hours and hours, that we had poured into it, and have for years. Have for the last 10, 12 years. Her and I and my band too. But yeah, Chris and Aaron Edwards just took so much off our plate, and uh, Chris is a hustler, man. So I mean, it was a no brainer for us. But you just kind of reach a point where you've done all you can do. I'm not saying this for everybody, but
Sure.
uh, from what I've seen, you've done everything to do, and that's kind of where we were. Uh, which as far as like the records I make and all that, none of that's changed. That's all. Uh,
Sure.
it's all the same as it always was. But as far as just the booking and the promotion and the keeping the socials all up and going and just everything. I mean, it's just Chris works at it hours and hours on end, and he's very fortunate in that regard because I've seen uh, some of my peers and folks that I'm running the roads with that don't have near as good a deal as I have, or they maybe they have a deal and they're just kind of back burner artists for somebody, and or,
Right.
uh, yeah, it's been really great for us so far. Like I said, we're about a year into it, and it's uh, sky's the limit. Looks like, feels like.
That's good to
Cool.
hear.
Yeah.
Would you have a rough guess on how much, if you cut up the pie, what percentage do they take off your plate for you?
Oh man, I would be scared to say. I'd be scared to say a lot.
Yeah.
Just a lot, and just allows me to um, just focus more on the art side of things. Because uh, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's album art, or artwork, or merchandise artwork, or songwriting, or just frees me up to do a lot more of that, and then it just I can't even explain it. Gets us into markets we've never been in, and has just works tirelessly on that. Just all time hustling, trying to get somebody to give you a look. That's a lot of times it's hard to get a look because there's so much. There's so much. There's a lot of music. Good thing is anybody can do it. The bad thing is anybody can do it.
That's
So
right.
there's a lot. There's just a
The
lot of
gift and the curse. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of noise that you got to cut through to get somebody to give you a look. So he's just they've worked. They're just hustling. Just getting us where we've never been and keeping the wheels on the ground. And just the gear we need and just a huge help. To make sure that we can go do what we can do. So
Yeah.
It's great to hear.
yeah, there's good people in the music business that you just got to find
For
them.
sure.
Yeah,
Got to
Yeah.
dig a little.
you got to dig. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great to hear, man.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you got something?
Yeah, I'm in a good spot.
Yeah. No, that really is. I mean, we're just some guys that like to talk music and whatever, but it's you hear so many horror stories from folks and everything when things are going good for all parties involved. That's that's the ideal spot.
Yeah.
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 Matt, you got one?
Yeah, man. I'm just kind of curious of when we're going to expect this new album you just got through with in July.
Yeah, man. I'm guessing first of the year. Just a guess. 'Cause, it's this post production stuff takes forever. Um, so that's probably it. We don't really want to drop a record in December. When everybody's doing holiday stuff or late November, things like that. And
I
just to
understand that.
give time. Yeah, just to give it the best shot that it had. I think we, probably set on it for a few months and just do the promotional thing. And
Any singles or anything that you may be planning for that album? Or
there'll be some singles. I don't know for sure exactly what that's going to look like or how that's going to pan out. But yeah, there'll be a single or two. I would say, that may be this year before the year's out, before the record drops. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but
Yeah.
itching to get it out. That's the worst part. When you've got something done that you love and we're, slipping a few songs in the set every night, just trying to get our legs under us about them.
right?
You just want to play all the new stuff, or I do, and so yeah. That's the worst part. The waiting is the hardest part, as Tom Petty says.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
He's right.
That is right.
Yeah.
All right, so Talbot, and I guess me and Talbot will take a quick question, and then we'll leave the main question for the honorary
Yes.
Matt Willis to ask. So
I can't wait.
I think I know what that is.
Good, because it's important. Mine are not very important, but I have two pretty easy, quick ones. What would you be doing if you weren't doing music?
Man, I've been a pipe fitter of sorts most of my adult life. So that it would be working class stuff. That's what I've always done. Is, I would rather do this, but
Totally understand. Yeah,
trying to figure all that out.
makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
and then this is I'm keeping a poll, so I want to know your thoughts on tribute bands.
Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know. If that's what somebody does, a lot of them are, man, they're really good. They're really good at what they do. It's mind-boggling to me that you would pour that much time and energy into doing that. But those people do it, and they probably get paid very well, and it's a good life for them. I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
But man, that would be hard for me. That would be hard to, there's already a whoever, whatever it is. There's already a Leonard Skinner. There's already an AC/DC or a Led Zeppelin or whatever.
right.
But some of those folks, man, they can do it as good or better than the original act, and that's a crazy thing. So hats off to you if you can do that. But
Right.
man, that would be a tough road for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's for everybody,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I would make the argument that if the band isn't around anymore, like, yeah,
yeah,
It changes a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
I
Keep
feel
it
a little bit
alive.
easier about it. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I don't know. My thing about that is as that I can imagine coming from people that try to that work as hard as you, and this is my opinion, not Tony's. It's people that have to work as hard as Tony and other folks like him. It probably pisses them off that there's a room full of people listening to somebody else dress up like somebody else when they've been beating the roads and writing the
1,000%.
songs. I mean,
oh
like I
yeah,
said, you know, although everyone understands it, that all they're doing is going to party. You know, they're
yeah,
not.
right,
They're taking it for
yeah,
what it is. They know it's a party, and that's all that.
yeah,
It's like going to Broadway. You're going to have some
yeah,
beers and listen to some songs. That's all they're doing. Completely
yeah, yeah,
understand, but still,
yeah.
if I put as much time into it as you guys do, it would really bug the piss out of me. But either way,
Yeah, you try not to let it piss you off,
no, I
but I
understood.
mean that's the way it is, man. I mean,
I,
and I get it. I get it. It's a fun time for to listen to people play songs that you know and love, and you
yeah.
used to love back in the day. And it's a fun time, but it can be
All right.
discouraging, when you're like, "Damn, man, look at just listen to what we have to say for a second."
Yeah,
I
give us a
mean,
chance.
Well,
Uh,
yeah,
not everybody has great taste, right?
yeah,
Like, not everybody can appreciate what it is that you do. And so, it is what it is.
Same,
yeah,
same, same as I'm sure you've met a lot of folks that love Chris Knight, and there's a lot of people that are like, I can't, I can't go see him live, or I can't,
100%.
I don't love his voice, or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
They're wrong, but either way,
they're absolutely wrong.
yeah, they
Yeah,
don't get it, but still,
but that's just kind of what I was actually. It's just a funny thing. I was at a show not too terribly long ago, and there's a husband and wife were there, and after our set was over, I had walked out of the room or was coming back to the merch table. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but he was explaining to his wife how he just didn't dig what I did. And of course, I came in the room. I mean, she was mortified, and she was, "You shut up." And I told them both. I said, "No, it's okay. Everybody doesn't have to love it. That's I understand, man. It's not, there's things that I love more than other things. You don't, no need to apologize. But the woman, she couldn't believe it that I'd heard everything that he said. But hey, that's okay, man. Some people are going to like it. Some people ain't. That's what makes the world go round.
yeah.
Well, some
Absolutely.
people have beer goggles, and some people have, like, beer voices.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they don't know that they're talking loud.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Beer megaphones. Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so just a quick one, Tony. What was the first concert that you were taken to, and what was the first concert that you went to on your own choosing?
First one I was taken to that I remember was Hank Williams Jr.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, nah, dude. I've been screwed ever since. There you go. I just barely remembered. I remember there was like this smoke haze in the room. You could probably smoke in the room back then. Probably. I remember that, just the layer of smoke that just hung throughout the room. And I remember him taking his boots off and standing on the piano. Maybe he played the piano, stomped on the piano with his bare feet. I can't remember. I remember that distinctly. That was the first concert that I remember. Um, the first concert that I actually bought a ticket to. Gosh, man, that's a tough one. I don't know that I even know. Uh, it might have been Alan Jackson. Don't
Oh,
rock
there
the
you go.
don't rock the jukebox. I was young. I mean, but I remember going to that with a couple friends. He played the field house here in Murray, Kentucky, and was before he really blew up. I mean, this was years ago, and I remember my folks dropped us off there. That could be it. I don't know. That's not really a. I don't know if that's a vogue answer or not, but
That's all
Well,
right.
that's two pretty epic artists.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he did the thing, man,
Yeah, he did.
for sure. Yeah.
All right, Matthew. Hit him with the tough one.
Yeah, this is the most important question of the night, Tony. So
Uh,
please don't upset me, man. This is this has been a staple of this show. So, what is your favorite Little Debbie?
Favorite Little Debbie. Um. Hmm. Dude, let's go. I would say Swiss cake roll.
Yeah, hey,
Man,
my man,
these are making
my
their
man.
comeback these days.
Oh,
They,
dude, man.
they are making a comeback.
As long as you
And
don't say
hot
fudge
lately.
round, I think you'll probably be all right.
Hey. I have one a night. Thank you very much. But I buy my own fudge rounds.
You buy
Hey,
on your own
I
hard-earned money.
yeah, I work and purchase my own fudge rounds. So,
Hey,
Right, right.
Talbot, his gig at the fair, he was eating one. I said, I'm going to take a picture of that and put that on TikTok.
they had at the Dyer County Fair. They had a box of for free fudge rounds. I was like, hell yeah, my kind of gig.
How did we not get that on video?
Yeah.
We should have.
Man, he was.
That was our pay for the night. The jumbo box.
Exposure pay.
Yeah, I've had similar opportunities myself.
I bet so. Little Debbie's in promotion in exposure, right?
Exposure, man, the
Yeah.
exposure gig.
Yep. Definitely.
Everybody loves those.
Yeah. Well, you said they didn't even offer a Little Debbie's on those, huh?
No, most of the time not.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, Tony, man. Well, I appreciate the time. Is there anything that
Yeah,
we didn't get to, or we pretty much cover everything, or
man,
we talk
I
about
think
the music?
so. Just we're out there hustling. You can see us somewhere. It's TonyLogueMusic.com. It's all the dates, all the socials, Facebooks, the Instagrams, all that.
Yeah.
The TikTok, we're there, but I don't know. I haven't got the TikTok thing down. We post something, it's got like 3 views or something. I mean,
Yeah.
we're there. So yeah, man, new record in the can. Everything else up on Spotify and all the streamers. So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I
Just
try to remind everybody each one
yeah,
if you everybody that you listen to on this, well, any independent guys, make sure you follow them on wherever you stream your music. Hit the follow button, hit the
yeah,
little bell so you'll know when they release their music.
yeah,
Go on their socials and actually interact with stuff so that
yeah,
it'll grow and it'll show up on somebody
yeah,
else's feed instead of sitting there stagnant. Like you just said
yeah,
with TikTok, I mean it's that way on every platform. Unfortunately, I wish
yeah.
there wasn't a such thing as an algorithm, but there is.
You're right.
So yeah,
No, that stuff helps, man. Just little things like that just help a ton. Just help spread it
yeah, definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
All right, Tony, man, I appreciate it.
All
Thanks so
right.
much.
Thanks, man.